Most people will know that back in 2001, I had a series of strokes. A couple that weren't so bad, and then one that was pretty shite, if I'm honest. Paralysed me down my left side, whacked me into bed for 4 days. Had to learn to walk again, use my arm again. Speech was a little bit, shall we say, I was offensive to a degree. I didn't mean to be, it just was all coming out. Anyway, during all this COVID lark, I did a cleanup and I came across some old footage and I did a couple of videos. Now, I was filmed a couple of times back in 2001, once while I was in acute and then once while I was in rehab. And this was 5 weeks after my stroke. So I just thought I wanted to share that stuff with lots of people that wouldn't have seen me at that time. And I've put together a short video here of me when I had done 5 weeks of rehab. So bear in mind that I was paralysed down my left side. I wasn't moving. Everything was happening. My bum was white for me to begin with, and I was fed. But it's really important, I think, that it always demonstrates to me that if I can get over that, I can get over stuff. I can get through stuff. And right now it's really hard for a lot of people. And I wondered if just sharing my story might help some people that realise that there absolutely is life after things that are shite. So here's that video. That was a short snippet of just a few bits that I put together from the filming that happened that day. But in addition, Paul, who was an amazing physio and became a friend of mine, and I can't speak highly enough of him, we were interviewed as well. So here's a little bit of a snippet of the interviews.
Not gone for a while. Maybe he's gone forever. No, maybe it'll come back, but in a different way. It's in one hand, because at the moment my left arm's still very weak, and I do most things with my right arm and my right leg. To begin with, I should say I've had 3 strokes, probably. And before my first stroke, I worked as a manager with about 100 people in my team, looking after their welfare, their performance management, and looking after customers as well when my staff couldn't look after them. And also in my spare time, I was heavily into amateur dramatics, and you see me smile because I enjoy it so much. Doing shows in Music of the Night and the Theatre Royal in Plymouth and things like that. So I was very active, probably out about 5 nights a week, running around, driving. And then my first stroke, they told me I'd had a stomach infection because I was very sick with my balance. And then my second stroke was diagnosed as a stroke. And my third stroke, I was due to be going home because it was very mild, and I had a bad stroke which affected my left side and my face as well, which is coming back now. And it took me from doing everything to doing nothing, literally. I couldn't wash myself, I had bed baths, was dressed, couldn't shave myself. It was abhorrent. You can't explain it, and you wouldn't wish it on anybody. My life had been taken from me. I would never get better again. And in the 3 weeks I was in Derriford, I moved leaps and bounds. I was walking before I left Derriford in 3 weeks. I'm lucky because of my age, but only walking with 2 people, and I walked once. But that was a big thing to me. When I came here, for 3 weeks I was in a wheelchair. Things like this, I never dreamed that I'd be able to do things again. And it's made me really think, God, don't we take things for granted? I go into town now and I look at everybody walking and I'm in a wheelchair and I think I used to do that, but there's no reason why I can't do it again. And maybe I will one day, who knows. I think the biggest thing for me is adapting and changing my thought patterns about what I can do and how I'm going to do it. Because initially I would come in and I would be frustrated about everything. For example, just standing up, I couldn't stand up without help. I never used to think about it at all. So I would ask for help to stand up and feel like I was a burden, or feel like I want to do it myself. So that's where the frustration would come, and I'd have screaming fits and tantrums and cry because I couldn't cope with not being able to do what I used to do. But the biggest thing that I've learned is that it's not never. Maybe one day I will do it again. Or maybe I might not be walking very quickly now, but who's to say in 2 years' time I might be walking better than this. I might never tap dance again, but if that's the only thing I have to give up, at least I'm still alive.
When I hear myself say that, it could be worse, at least I'm still here. That really rings very true, and there's loads of stuff going on and have through all of our lives that continues. And when I look back on that stuff, I realise that you can find a new way with stuff. And I've been very lucky to do that. It's all down to family and friends, and probably a bit of stubbornness from me. Taurian, you see, once a Taurian, always a Taurian. But I'm glad that I've got around to putting all of this together and sharing it with you. And I hope it's been a little bit of an insight, and I hope it helps some people go, yeah, it's all right. We're going to get out of this. Take care, everybody.